Hey guys, how's it going? Big announcement real quick. I have my video done, completed. I'm just adding some music to it. I'm starting a new YouTube channel. It's going to be a big deep dive YouTube channel, like just in detailed researching where YouTubers have gone or where criminals have gone. It could go over crime. It can go over YouTubers, musicians, stuff like that. It's going to be a big deep dive channel. So I think you all will like that a lot. Other channel links in the description below. My music channel. I just uploaded a brand new video. I really could use your help with that. And my Twitter and my Discord linked in the description below. Let's get into the dishonesty here of Emma and Sam Seder.
Of what he'd been doing with the Culture War show, because I checked out and he'd done one with Carrie Lake and Vivek Ramaswamy.
And put him on a beanbag?
Well, I saw the beanbag set on the other side of the room, but this was the normal set. And
see, this is what's funny. Before all this, I want to give some context up to the 2-minute mark here that I just clicked on. She was complaining about how his room didn't look culture-y war stuff enough and all that stuff. Just making fun of Tim. This is a typical left-wing tactic where they decide to just insult you because they don't like you. It has no merit, no basis, no nothing, and it can be ignored. So that was the first 2 minutes of their video, just making fun of Tim. Great.
And those interviews with Carrie Lake and Vivek Ramaswamy he didn't have a little research assistant challenging them.
He did not. So
he didn't need to challenge them whenever he literally was looking on the ground of what was going on and look at the evidence presented. He saw the evidence firsthand and was very well aware. However, you all did leave out whenever he challenged every single thing and researched every single thing that Alex Jones told him live. So don't try to lie and say that he was just doing it to you guys. And then he lets the right wing, or whatever they want to claim, get away with their lies. They can't even name one single lie that Carrie Lake would have told live on the air. What did she say to Tim live on the air that was a lie? What about Vivek? What did he say live on the air that was a lie? Alex Jones, even he did not get corrected or anything on Tim's show. They heavily scrutinized him, though, heavily researched on him because he's very controversial, and he turned out to be right on every single topic. Little wild. So why are you put to shame? Why are you embarrassed? Why are you upset that Tim had to fact check you on everything you said, proving you wrong every time, Emma? I mean, here's a fact. Let's say he didn't do any of that of what I just said to the right wing. He just lets them get away with anything. Are you okay with just being wrong? Well, they got to be wrong, so why wasn't I allowed to be wrong on Tim's show? Boy, what a fantastically stupid point.
that was something he brought in from, like, I guess, traditional TimCasts, which is they do have, like, when they had Lance or Binder on, multiple right-wingers ganging up on.
Now, why do they do that? Why does Tim do that? Does Tim do that to pretend like he's somehow in...
Yeah, let's just speculate. Why do they do that? I got a good idea here. Now that I can speculate, well, how about I just make something up? Sam Seder, making stuff up since, I don't know, whenever he started his stupid show.
In the center?
That's what he wants to do, I think, clearly.
But that was what
That's what he wants to do, I think, clearly. God, I just love going over speculation. It's just great. Let's just ascribe evil to a person without any proof of intent in any way, shape, or form.
Goal was going into this was I wanted to nail him down on a few things. I wanted to see if he could expand on why he likes Trump over DeSantis for these incredibly specific reasons, like regarding AI usage, which of images, which I find to be pedantic, which is kind of Tim's thing.
So it's pedantic whenever your political opponent literally does anything they can do to lie and cheat? That's great. So Ron DeSantis, for all you all who don't know, had an AI picture created of Donald Trump hugging, giving a kiss on the cheek, shaking hands, and all that stuff with Anthony Fauci going, Trump loves Anthony Fauci, you know? And whenever you are a very public person and you're spreading false information like that, especially false information that you created, that's a really bad look whenever you're trying to be like, vote for me instead of my opponent. You know, I mean, what if I went around saying, hey, vote for me instead of my opponent. My opponent's Joe Biden, and there's an AI picture of him shoving his wife downstairs, you know, and abusing her and stuff. How awful would that look on my part how many people would come out and say, dude, that is not real. You shouldn't be doing that. It's a big deal, lady. You think it's pedantic? Oh, of course you think it's pedantic. You support literal Democrats who just lie all day long. It's really embarrassing for you to sit there and openly admit that lying about your political opponent is pedantic.
Other things surrounding his past statements about the 10-year-old who had to get an abortion, and this, which I didn't expect that this would be the thing that would get him to finally lose it, but I saw him getting more and more emotional as the debate was going on, because my also mentality going in was, I'm going to be as calm as possible, because
it doesn't matter how calm you are and if you set him off or not. Just because he gets mad doesn't mean he's wrong. And I don't care about that. The whole point is you got busted lying, or at least being dumb. I would rather believe you were lying, because I don't want to believe you're actually that dumb. Although, whenever you all were sitting there and I covered your episode a couple days ago about you all trashing Tim Pool's song, saying that first and foremost, that falsetto, and you're sitting there laughing about this going, yep, only bad singers use falsetto. Well, way to just insult the entire R&B community. The Bee Gees, you know how they sing, Staying Alive? All falsetto. Apparently only bad vocalists do that, It's really utterly ridiculous when you all use terms that you all have no idea what you're talking about. You don't even know what falsetto is. Falsetto isn't false singing. It's not even using false chords or anything like that. It's nothing along those lines. You just don't know what you're talking about, unfortunately. So then, no, baby. No, don't hit my power supply button. Ooh. Okay. He's trying to hit my phantom power button, which would shut off my microphone. So, all in all, it's just hilarious, especially whenever he ascribes Tim to being vintage 2012 math rock, which is absolutely... Don't turn that up. Blow you guys' eardrums out. Vintage 2012 math rock, which is absolutely an oxymoron. Makes absolutely zero sense. So, yeah, it's just hilarious, because John Petrucci would technically fit into that category, but not vintage. I would say probably Frank Zappa's more close to the lines of vintage, I guess, but vintage 2012 isn't vintage, so that was dumb. So when you're going on about that, and you make stupid terms up to try and insult Tim and his music, especially after you get caught putting his song through a high pass filter, which I proved that on my video as well, it just makes you look so disingenuous and bad. It's ridiculous. So I forwarded all that to Justin Bonnets, and he laughed. He was like, dude, this is utterly ridiculous. These people don't know. And Justin doesn't know who any of these people are, And that's one of the funniest things about it is he's like, who are these people? They don't know what they're talking about when it comes to music. Now, Justin had some choice words for Tim's vocals, and I have to agree with him. Tim is not a great vocalist, okay? But Tim's got a good set of pipes on him. If he were to get vocal lessons, he would be very good. In my opinion, I think he would be very, very good. Justin pointed out some things that were wrong with Tim's vocals, like actual legitimate criticisms. He says he's searching for a note. You can hear it whenever he goes up to a note. Instead of going, nah, or something like that, he goes, nah. Like he's searching for the right pitch because he knows in his ears he's not quite hitting it, but he doesn't know how to compress or go which direction to take that note to make it perfectly in tune. He says that's fine. That's what a lot of new vocalists do anyway, that haven't taken lessons, that don't know exactly where to hit that note. He's like, it's someone who doesn't necessarily practice 24/7 with it, but then that's to be expected. Oh, thank you. She found some fuzz on the ground and gave it to me. Great. So he's saying, he made some legit criticisms that Sam Seder, if he knew what he was talking about in any way, shape, or form, or if Emma knew what she was talking about in any way, shape, or form, would have been able to point this stuff out. He goes, no, there are some criticisms you could put with Tim himself. He said, but the rest of the song's solid. He goes, the mix, pretty solid. He's like, there's nothing wrong with any of that. He's like, if you wanted to criticize anyone at all, Tim's vocals are a little weak. And that's not because he's using falsetto. It's just because he's not a crafted singer. Now, of course he's not, though. Tim has other things he's focusing on. He's not a full-time musician. He's got only, 3 songs out there? That's what I would expect from somebody with that, too. So it's not really that legit of a criticism. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let's get into much more. This gets a little wild.
what they want is to trigger a leftist and to get a meltdown. And
now, who told you that? Who said that that's what they want? Because Tim says the opposite of that. He says he wants to have a literal conversation, just a conversation with you guys, and actually try to come together and have an honest conversation. But you're trying to ascribe intent to somebody who literally hasn't really done that. He literally didn't do that with one of the most ridiculous left-wing grifters on this entire platform, which was Lance from the Surfs. He didn't try to get him to melt down or anything like that. I mean, it's crazy.
And instead we got Tim's meltdown.
Whoopsie.
So this was the moment where I knew I just had to sit back and honestly kind of let him go.
And do we want to give people the context for what you're talking about here?
Yeah, I mean the shooter who was a neo-Nazi with a swastika tattoo in Allen, Texas, had posted 4 screenshots of Tim's show on his social media.
All from the same show, by the way. Keep this in mind, okay? Let me give you the context of the 4 clips that they posted. It was all from one episode. Which doesn't show or imply in any way, shape, or form that he regularly watched Tim at all. So that's a little strange, don't you think?
Schaefer, and I'll just say it's not a mystery why a neo-Nazi would be watching, particularly Elijah Schaefer.
Yeah.
You're right. Maybe that's not a mystery, right? Maybe not. Maybe they're all just, white evil bad guys, right? So it's not a mystery that they would be doing that for Tim Pool's show and Elijah Schaefer, right? But what is the mystery that I do want to point out, though, is the guy is literally full-blooded Hispanic. And what's the ideology of a bad guy from World War II? Anybody? Oh yeah, the white supremacy, literally. So do you see maybe just a problem with that? Maybe. No, later on they're going to say, race doesn't matter. Of course, these are the only types of people that literally think that the Dave Chappelle skit of a black man in the KKK is real. These people are idiots.
Pool can address it how
we should go into that a little bit more
tomorrow.
We're just doing the fun part today, but we'll go into some of the issues
this
a little
is
bit
a
more.
low-res scan.
Yeah, so this was the big viral moment, though, and I we'll just go. Well, it speaks for itself.
Sizing race specifically. No, he's a neo-Nazi Hispanic shooter.
Right, but Tim called it a false flag and then corrected himself the next day and then said he thought it was
Pause it. Let me just also just say, I remember this moment.
So that's not what happened, lady. Okay. I still believe it to be a false flag without a doubt. I mean, the guy literally posts only recent clips, and that's it. He never shares or does anything on any form of social media ever before this. All really quick, rapid clips from these people. No history of watching these people at all. Just a modern day version of him watching the people from new episodes, and that's it. One time. And then, of course, Tim talks about it here.
Story coming out of Texas, a mass shooting. And leftist researchers and the corporate press are running with this story that they've discovered the profile of this individual. And lo, this Mexican man is actually a white supremacist. Now, the thing is, it seems like researchers have dug through this profile. It does not seem to be real. This person was posting weird things in the past couple of weeks to no followers and to no one. But of course, the media is going to run with it. In this, there are, on this profile, there are posts about libs of TikTok, and I believe it's 4 clips from this show from one particular episode. That was enough for them to come out and, now Tim Pool is trending, and claim that this individual was a fan of this show. Yeah, I'm going to come out outright and just be like, you're liars. That's not the case. You don't get to say someone posted a clip one time and you're a fan, because by that metric, Media Matters is our biggest fan.
And yeah, I agree with that 100%. The thing about it is this is the false, not false equivalent, but this is the equivalent of falsely claiming that PewDiePie is responsible for the Christchurch event. Okay? Remember how that was in his manifesto? As if PewDiePie had anything to do, as if PewDiePie was doing anything political at the time even anyway, or even really doing anything political in general. I mean, come on. This is just absolutely sad. You all are pathetic people. Absolutely pathetic people. What about whenever mass people have named off left-wing people in the past? you all don't talk about that and go, well, I guess it was our fault that this happened. No, but you all are very quick to blame somebody whenever they mention a right-wing person that motivates them. And yes, there have been plenty of times where the left-wing people have been absolutely implicated as inspiring others. Let's take a great example for what happened in Colorado. You know what I'm talking about, the Tranifesto. You know what I'm talking about there. And yet you all are not quick to sit there and say, oh, that's our bad. I mean, that's just ridiculous. How many trans people ended up committing a mass event? There was 5 of them. Or was there 4 of them? I'm going to go with 4 just so I don't... I think there was 5, but I'm going to go ahead and say 4. So that way I don't end up, actually being wrong about that. But I know there was at least 4.
And I was like, why does this guy keep saying he is a neo-Nazi Hispanic shooter?
Because half their audience thinks that's a complete paradox.
Yes.
Right, that you can't...
Actually, that is literally a paradox. That's literally the black man in the KKK. I mean, how stupid are you people?
You can't have... But
we should go back a little when I first bring it up to him.
I just thought that was a...
Then it's fine.
I thought that was an interesting sort of tick.
Okay.
That he really wanted what he would perceive as the race or the ethnicity to be mentioned about that. I thought that was an interesting tick that occurred to me.
Yes.
Yeah, very obvious too.
And all you can do is laugh and say,
no, it's because you get specific to obscure.
Some guy posted one thing one time, and that's the only argument.
Terribly sorry, guys. I had to put a jump cut in here. Kids end up coming right around the green screen and whatnot, and I just really don't want them to have to be seen. It's at this point, nobody should be seeing my kids. I don't want them to have to, they can make that decision when they're older if they want to be on the internet or not. So anyway, let's get back into this video here.
Go to the time codes that were in that episode, because I ran this down, and one of them was a clip of Elijah Schaffer, and weirdly for this neo-Nazi Hispanic shooter, it's Elijah saying that we shouldn't be emphasizing race specifically. No, he's a neo-Nazi Hispanic shooter.
Right, but Tim called it a false flag and then corrected himself the next day and then said he thought it was funny.
Okay, what's your point? Well, he had a swastika on his body tattooed there. Okay, but he's still this, and she goes, right. Okay, well, right. Why'd you have to argue it? What? He didn't say he wasn't a bad guy from World War II, right? Though I do tend to believe it's really fake whenever it's somebody who, when somebody tries to tell me, yeah, man, this is here's this black dude in the KKK. I'm gonna be like, sure, buddy, whatever you want to tell yourself.
After a mass shooting.
I think that...
Okay, let's find out. Tim found it to be funny, right? Let's see.
With Alex Jones, they desperately try to find anything. And this was several years ago, but the media has lost so much power and influence. They may as well be posting this. I mean, they're literally posting it on Blue Sky.
But they don't know it.
No, they're on Blue Sky. It's like, do you guys know what Blue Sky is?
No.
No, you never heard of it? Okay, well, you do, I do. But the average person's like, Tim, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
This is, correct me if I'm right, Jack Dorsey's new thing. Yeah, they're on some obscure website, spitting into the wind, and it's laughable.
But it got coverage in the Daily Mail.
So that's essentially Tim's take on it being laughable, and him laughing at it is, let's put it this way, okay? He thinks it's hilarious that these people are trying to say that Tim is creating these people when he's a milquetoast fence sitter. That's what he's laughing at. You're sitting here saying that he's literally laughing that this guy went around and did awful things to people, and that's just a straight up lie. This is why people don't take you or Sam Seder serious. This is why y'all don't get invited to places, right? It's because nobody likes you. Guys, do you know why nobody likes you? Because all you do is insult them and make stuff up about them. Who'd want to associate with that? I mean, no wonder he can't even keep a gig on Bob's Burgers. He probably irritated all of them.
I mean, someone told you to say this, and you don't actually know what you're talking about.
I think that it's not shocking that you think that based on my judgment.
Okay, you're not saying anything anymore.
But
the point of him saying you're not saying anything anymore is she's literally trying to say this is why you believe that your ideals that aren't even his ideals. She's ascribed ideals to Tim, and she said, this is why you believe it. And he's like, this is nonsense. I know what I believe, and I say what I believe, and yet you're saying something completely different, and that's the big issue about it.
I screen grab because I do YouTube clips, so I will screen grab a time code so I know where to go later. So when I saw that, I knew, or I had a feeling, because obviously he's dead. So, or was he captured or was he killed?
I think he was killed.
Yeah, so he's dead. So he can't tell us. But like, I think people.
You know what's really
screenshot
funny about this too is that like neither one of them know the. And I'll be honest, I don't know I don't recall the details of this at all. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hilarious. They don't know the details at all, is what you're fixing to say, but then you're going to sit there and go, I don't know the details at all either. But it's funny that they don't, right? But I don't either. Good argument. Look, I'm going to stop the argument right here. This is just pathetic. They are literally melting down about Tim Pool's meltdown. I've seen Tim Pool meltdown harder than this. I've seen Tim Pool meltdown way worse in general. His meltdown, supposed meltdown that went down through this entire episode here is just really mild at best. It's really pathetic. This is the only thing that they have. And look at the majority report in general. Like, it's just, guys, this is sad. Tim Pool. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make this real simple for you guys before I close this video out. Let's see how many times they end up mentioning Tim Pool. Because Tim Pool does not talk about the majority report ever. He talks about news. But these guys, they talk about Tim Pool. So what you do here, it's a really simple thing. You keep scrolling down. And we're at 2 months of videos, 2 months. I want to get to 3. I just want to get down to 3. I want to see how many times they talk about him in just 2 months. You know, here we go. Here's 3 months. You hit Control F, and then you type in Tim, or actually just type in Tim. No way. There's no way they have 15 clips of him here. No way, right? Okay, Tim Pool. Let's see. Tim Pool. Tim Sherrick. Okay, so there we go. 3 Tim Pool. A different Tim. Okay, cool. Tim Pool. So that's 4. Let's see. Where's the Tim Pool? That's 5. Tim Pool. That's 6. Okay. Victim. Gotcha. They found Tim for there. Tim Pool. That's 7. Tim Pool. That's 8. Let's see. Tim Heidecker. Okay. Tim Scott. Victim. Tim Pool. That's 9. And Tim Pool. That's 10. 10 times in 2 months. Guys, there's 8 weeks in 2 months. They talk about Tim on average 1.2 times a week. That means they talk about him at least once a week, and then there were 2 weeks out of there that they literally talked about him twice in a week. This is ridiculous. Like, that trend is insane. How are you that obsessed with Tim Pool? How are you that obsessed? That's wild. Now, if I do this again and I hit enter, there we go. They have another time that they've talked about him in the 3rd month. I mean, just wow. You know, Tim Pool's dad sets the record straight. I guess Tim Pool's dad did something. I don't know who that. I never knew about any of this. Maybe I'll investigate that later. But guys, these people are obsessed. They don't actually talk about news or anything on this majority report. What are they reporting? All they do is report about other people's opinions and other people's politics. They don't actually report any news on here. I do more news coverage on this channel than the majority report does. That's pathetic. Anyway, guys, that's all I have to say about this. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Later.